Hey, good evening. Welcome or welcome back to Hearts Glow Tarot. Happy Tarot Tuesday. I've got a reading for the week of January 26th to the 1st of February, the month of love. Coming up to Twit. I have my cute little microphone because I couldn't clip it properly to my sweater, and it's on this cute little wand I got with the mug for my birthday recently. Thank you, Amanda. Amanda Wade, best real estate agent in Fredericton. If you're looking for a real estate agent. Yes. So I chose a different deck tonight. Stunning, gorgeous, amazing, beautiful deck. So aesthetic. And yeah, I'm excited to share this with you. So I've got a reading for this week. Pulled a card for beginning, middle, and end of the week. And of course, I'll always be looking at the bottom of the deck. That card tends to influence on the other cards or create a theme or big piece of advice for the week. So let's get to it. For the beginning of this week, we have the Leap card. And you can see it's a woman jumping off a cliff. You go first. The universe will catch you. I mean, she could have jumped, but it sort of looks like she's floating or flying and her eyes are closed. So this says to me that there could be messages coming to you in a dream at the beginning of the week or at some point this week or when this video finds you. Something intuitive and direction for questions you may have in your own life. You can see, hopefully you can see that there are beads of light that she is cupping in her hand, both the version of her standing on the cliff and both, sorry, just said that, repeated myself there, with her floating in the air. That says to me that the power's in your hands. Fortune favors the bold. Taking a leap of faith, making it happen. Now, I see here the full moon really jumped out at me. I'm a person who really loves the moon. I'm always tracking it in the sky most nights that I can see the moon. This says to me that something will become apparent to you around that time. So actually the full moon coming up is on Sunday, the 1st. And that also actually coincides with Imbolc. Is that? I'm just learning about these pagan seasons. No, it's Mabon. My bad. Sorry. So the returning of light, and the light is in her hands. The power is in her hands, and I think that represents the power being in your hands and light and magic following you. You can see, hopefully, the version of her on the cliff and the beam of light, or sort of stream of consciousness from the top of her head, the inspiration, realizing hopefully that she has the power. So Sunday night and Monday night are the nights of strongest influence with the full moon. So if you happen to do any sort of full moon rituals for releasing or manifesting, those would be the most potent evenings. And the quote that stood out with it in the description with this card was, "You go first, the universe will catch you." Oh, that's also the phrase at the bottom of the card. Also, it was found on page 72, 72 reducing to 9, 9 representing endings, but also beginnings, a fresh chance, a fresh start. Yeah, that's the way I take it for an individual reading, and I'll get to what I think it might mean more collectively when we get to the card at the bottom of the deck. And then for the card for midweek, or the second card drawn, is Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? But my gosh, what a gorgeous card. So before I read the description, what came out, leapt out at me, was just for you to take time this week when you can to sit and reflect in the stillness and in the quiet, and just to listen to you, to listen to your inner voice, whether it's to get information or to listen to your body or to rest or to find the next step. But the description of the card and its intended meaning with the deck is to address what is triggering you, things outside you. Why are they triggering you? It's sort of an invitation to look deeper, to help you heal, basically. Might be a great journal prompt. What I'm just seeing now is behind the woman is that there are beams of light vertically down the card. And that to me says the universe has got your back. The universe is waiting for you to go first, and they'll catch you. I'm also seeing here with like mirror and triggers, there could be some issues with self-image and self-confidence, and issues with believing that you're enough. But then we also have the gorgeous flowers. And the flowers to me represent opportunities and growth and beauty and appreciation, like giving yourself flowers, congratulating yourself, gifting yourself, rewarding yourself in some way for making it through the challenges that you have so far. Because we're all wondering, like, how to get through to the next thing that overwhelms us. And, you know, if we're still here, we've made it through 100% of the challenges. So, way to go, champ. Yes, and to write the roses, beauty, and recognizing the beauty in yourself and in the life that you've created thus far, and the beauty of opportunity and potential, and appreciation in a weird way for the mess. Beauty in the mess, you know, I've heard that before. There's always something to be grateful for somewhere, even if you have to kind of dig a little to find it. Yeah, and so this was found on page 44, which reduces to 8. So if you think of the visual of 44, it's not a direct reflection like it is in this card, but there is some, you know, repetition of like her eyes aren't open, but it's almost like she's looking back or thinking back, and looking down and looking at herself and trying to reach for herself in, to find maybe pieces of herself. And that actually, I believe that quote comes up later in the reading too. So, found on page 44, which reduces to 8. And 8 is sort of, 9 represents an impending end, but also a beginning, right? And the 8 is sort of like the infinite loop, or the Ouroboros that was found in the reading last week, the snake biting its own tail, death and rebirth. Yeah, and in that way, that image is also sort of a reflection. So lots of reflecting required this week, or, already being done this week by yourself. Yeah. So that is what I got from that. And then for a card representing the end of the week, we have Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, and Teacher. So, if we're thinking about those orbs of light that's showing up again in this card, you can see it in the arch, top of that triangle, and above the woman's head in the middle. So, and again, a hint to the rose, seeing the beauty in things. So you may be called to be learning something new, or maybe you've been thrown into a situation where you are learning new things about yourself and the world or your job. And there's a desire here for big change and to take the leap, but there's also fear. And fear is also an uncertainty and questions here. But then it's sort of like things come to a peak, if you see with the top of that triangle, right? And if you are a person who believes in a higher power, hands coming together in prayer, it sort of looks similar. From my perspective, that's what I sort of intuited. And this card speaks of raising your vibration. And that's done by taking that leap of faith and doing the things that you love. Doing the things that bring you joy. They could be everyday things. It could be something brand new. But the more joy and contentment and peace you can bring to yourself, the more joy and contentment and peace you're bringing to the world. So raising your own vibration is raising the global vibration. I mean, I can see how off the cuff a lot of people would be like, that's not true, but I'm a firm believer in it. Changing one person will have effect on another person, and so on and so on and so on, right? Yeah. So doing things that you love. It says here that you are being called to do or create something new. Raising the vibration in this way will help raise the vibration in the collective. So please be the light and the love and the hope that you're wishing to see in the world. Be the change, be the love, be the light, be the hope. And a quote from the description in this card is, surround yourself with beauty and create beauty wherever you go. And in one of these cards, there was hint to getting into nature. And I mean, you see nature in all of these cards. And yes, I realize in the Maritimes it's not exactly super warm and sandal weather, but there is a call to get out into the fresh air, into nature. For us here in Atlantic Canada, get into the snow, the fresh pow, and get some some clearing, and maybe perhaps it'll clear space in your mind, and it's where the next step can come in for you, whatever that might be. So the bottom of the deck, the influencer card. This is interesting. Oh yes, to talk about first before we go there. Sorry, jumping back, reflecting. The Sisterhood of the Rose card, that was found on page 100 it's found on page 78, which reduces to 6. And 6 to me says moving on to something better. Sometimes 5s can represent struggle or adversity, and 6s can mean triumph or back on the path, moving in a better direction. So I see that as as positive for sure. Then the bottom of the deck, I pulled this card, Protection. Call your power back, or call back your power. Cut the cords, soul retrieval. Okay. And a quote from the description of this card says, "You're being called to protect your energy and call back your power. May all the lost pieces return home now." So I had mentioned that before in the mirror card. It looks like reflecting, looking for yourself in the mirror, in the mess, through the mess kind of thing. Reflecting back in the mirror card about triggers, the triggers are distracting you and draining you from your purpose. Now, I can see how that could be pertain to someone individually. I mean, I myself am riddled with self-doubt on a daily basis, and I probably waste time. I would be much more efficient if I didn't have those doubts throughout my day to stop and think before I act on something. I mean, I suppose it's better to think than to not think sometimes, but also not. You can also think too much. Yeah. And another case is this card was found on 105, page 105, and that also again reduces to 6. And 6 and 6 kind of feel like another reflection, another double, sort of like 11:11. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of how it hit me for the reading. And I thought that was pretty neat. So again, I can see how your triggers are distracting you from the present moment and taking away your power in a way. And if we look at this globally, how social media is distracting us from things that are really happening behind the scenes, instead of all this fighting and whatever the distractions or the splashiness in social media, there are very different things happening, behind the scenes, layers and layers. So self-explanatory here with that bottom card, Protection, call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. Try to minimize distractions, trying to get real, get focused, get honest. Globally, with this card, an aspect I'm seeing is enough is enough. And the idea that I got from this card too is women around the world coming together and putting a stop to something or protesting something. Now, there is an eclipse happening, a full eclipse happening in this card. And to me, my first guess was a lunar eclipse. And there is actually a lunar eclipse happening coming up in not so long. In March, it's March 3rd. There's a partial solar eclipse that we won't see in North America anyway, on the 17th of February. But my first hunch was lunar eclipse. So globally, if we're looking at bigger picture and not like these little tidbits that might resonate with you for a personal reading, globally, not to turn it negatively, but too big, too much. Life, all the insanity. I mean, I don't even have to go in and describe anything everybody knows, right? Too big, too much. Mirroring, just kind of crouching down. Why did this happen? What do I do now? What's the best, next move to make? And this card, connecting to source, remembering your divinity, remembering your power, remembering that you hold the key, or that we collectively hold the key. If we want change to be made, we need to come together and make it. Right? Enough is enough. Banding together. Change is now, change is here, calling in protection. And that, my loves, is what I have for you for this week, for January 26th to February 1st. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope there were tidbits in here for you. Oh, yes, I would actually like to recite I don't know if it was a prayer you would call it, or a mantra or manifestation, but I would like to read this for you before we go. On page 105. So it's a light activation. So please feel free to hold your hand over your heart, or any chakra or area of your body that you feel drawn to holding your hand over in a caring manner. Okay. I call back any lost soul fragments, power or light now. Any vows, soul contracts, hexes, or programs from the past or present, from this life or others, that are not in the highest good of all, I relinquish now. Any power or light that I have willingly or unwillingly given away or had taken from me, I call back now. Any cords or attachments from this life or others, I release now for the highest good of all. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Okay. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a beautiful week. Feel free to reach out and talk about anything that resonated with you in this reading. or just to connect. Thank you.